pulling back up there some.
Yeah, Davey Allison, the last Winston Cup driver to go to victory lane here at Phoenix. Only 4 drivers have won in the last 14 races. They've won all but 6 this year. Wallace, Martin, Earnhardt, and Irvan. 11 laps to go.
Boy, I know they wouldn't just say that car was on 7 cylinders just for the fun of it. No. It is after running this thing on 7 cylinders I've ever seen.
I'll tell you what, I was
pulling away from cars down the straightaway.
Buddy, I was up at Wilkesboro one time. That's a real slick racetrack when I was driving for Junior, Darrell and I. And Darrell dropped the cylinder and just started driving away. The next time I pitted, they reached around and pulled a plug wire off my motor.
No.
I'm just telling you, that thing would get slick like that up there. And I was sitting there spinning the wheels, and they gave me a try with 7 of them.
Well, here's Junior's car, Bill Elliott. It's on 8 cylinders, and it's battling Dale Earnhardt for 4th place. 11 cars on the lead lap. If Earnhardt stays in 4th, he goes to Atlanta 126 ahead of Rusty Wallace.
Well, the lap before, we were watching this 3 car, and that sideways coming up off this corner. I mean, they still got that thing out of left field on the chassis like they want to be.
Now, what does that mean? 124 points? Earnhardt would have to finish 34th or better at Atlanta to wrap up his 6th championship, no matter what Rusty does. Mark Martin laps past Bobby Hillin.
Man, out there in the gray stuff.
Let's check with Ralph.
Steve, we're hearing all sorts of things about you maybe being down with a broken valve spring. Any other problems with the car?
About 15 laps ago, Mark hollered he thought he broke a valve spring. And Ernie jumped up alongside us, but Marcus figured out a way to run the car hard. You know, a lot of times the racetrack gets slick, you're better off with less horsepower. We're not sure we broke a spring, but if we have, it doesn't seem to hurt us a whole lot. Ernie's awful tough. I wish this thing was over.
You said you figured a way for him to run hard. What did you figure out? What's he doing different?
Mark, I guess he just runs harder in the corner. You know, he thought it broke going in the corner, and he lifted early, realized he could run harder through the corner if indeed he did break a valve spring. So I'm sure he's running his guts out right now. He told me not to talk to him, so he's probably trying pretty hard.
He's trying hard right now. It's all he can do to stay in front of Ernie Irvan.
28's trying pretty hard, too. It's going to come down to it right here at the end.
It looks like Mark's keeping the car up high, and Neil, do you not lose as much RPM when you run that higher line?
Mike, exactly. If he's losing, as the bog it down, he doesn't have that power. He's flying through the outside the corner.
And the other thing, when you get back in the throttle, you get back in it quicker, and you stay in it wide open all the way through the corner, and with the full power, and you spin the wheels coming up out of the corner.
Slip and slide for 6th spot here. Ricky Rudd trying to hold off. Darrell Walter. That is for 6th. That's about a straightaway behind the leaders. Now the leaders are coming up into traffic as you watch Earnhardt and Bill Elliott for 4th place. Mark Martin in about another 3 laps will be on race traffic. There are 5 laps to go.
Boy, now you talk about critical. If he's down on power a little bit, he can't afford to get out of the gas and wait on anybody. He's got to keep it wound up, so he doesn't need to have to deal with these guys slowing him down.
Neil, that's the biggest thing. If he has to get out of the throttle, it'll take him a half a lap to get back up on the pipes good.
Passing flag will be out on Kenny Wallace and Jimmy Spencer. And here comes Mark Martin to try to lap them with 4 laps to go. Spencer goes way over. He says, I don't want any part of this. I'm not racing for the win or for position. You guys get on and go with it.
Boy, that's a nice gesture there.
No, that's appreciated.
You think that might have anything to do with that being a Ford? Ford's checking out?
Well,
that's good courtesy. I tell you, Spencer did a good job there. I'm telling you, when you see that coming somewhere down the road, those guys will pay you back. If you abuse it, they'll pay you back the other way. Good move by Spencer.
And a word to one man who's had a lot to do with Ford's Winston Cup success of late. Michael Tranopus, the worldwide head of racing of motorsports for Ford, retires tomorrow. Looks like he may get a nice little send-off gift with a victory here.
See Kenny Wallace just in front of the 6th car there now. If he don't get out of the way, he's going to have to get off the 6th car just a little bit.
They lap past Chuck Bound in the 39. And as they come around,
the Mark is going to need to clear this 40 car and not have to follow him through the corner here.
Pins and needles time.
Hey, the thing about Kenny, he's running about as well as Mark is right now.
He's 17th. Only a lap down. He's had a pretty good day here.
They'll be coming around for 1 to go. Mark's not going to have to deal with this car right here. He needs to get right on around him if he can.
White flag will be in the air. Passing flag at work. Wallace drops way to the low side. Mark Martin will clear him, and that also sets a pick on Ernie Irvan. Where's Irvan going to go? No place. He can't. Kenny Wallace is there.
Kenny stayed out of the way of both cars. Let him race for it.
Irvan will have one more chance at Mark Martin. He is 3 car lengths back as they enter the final turn of the last lap here at Phoenix. Irvan looks to the bottom. Martin takes it up high, and Mark Martin will go to victory lane. The Slick 5500, 12th career victory, 5th of the season. Dale Earnhardt holds off Bill Elliott, and Ricky Rudd finishes just in front of Darrell Waltrip. Larry McReynolds and Steve Meal, rival crew chiefs, saluting one another. Earnhardt coming around, needs to finish only 34th or better at Atlanta to win his 6th Winston Cup Championship, even if Rusty wins the race and leads the most laps. So you're riding with the winner on TNN. Mark Martin waits to make the turn, and now heads toward victory lane.
Yeah, Mark asked him where victory lane is. He'll know after this.
Rusty Wallace, 19th place today, 2 laps down after a broken sway bar mount on the right front.